Welcome to the English 101 video for Professor Stewart's observational study assignment. In this video, you will define an observational study in the context of English 101 and identify statistical sources of a time period for social issues. If you have any questions about this assignment, please visit the English 101 Canvas course or ask your professor. First, let's define an observational study. An observational study describes the observation of people, places, and/or events and analyzes that observational data collected in order to identify and categorize common themes in relation to the research problem. Observational studies are attempts at a structured observation of and reflection about people in a natural, cultural setting. This means, as the researcher, you will interpret meanings found in the data during your observations and make content. In this case, you will watch a film, draw conclusions, and create a report that you will submit to your professor. Observational reports also help you learn data collection techniques and observational skills. They also teach you how to apply theories you read about in real-world situations. Now that we know what an observational study is and what our report will help us learn, we can start looking for sources to explain the social and cultural norms of our chosen film. Remember that you should choose a teen slasher film released between 1978 and 2022. This film should be related to or cited in Pat Gill's article from class. For our example in this video, we will use the movie Psycho, a slasher film produced in 1960. Warning, we are only using this film for this video. You will need to follow the assignment directions for your own report. In option 1, 2, 3, and 5 of this assignment, you are asked to research about the cultural norms and traditional values of the time period of the film. For our example movie Psycho, that means researching the 1960s. In option 4 of this assignment, you are asked to find statistical data about the phenomena or experiences that have shaped the monster. For our example movie Psycho, that means researching themes from the movie like psychiatric disorders, family relationships, and the acceptance of sexuality socially. There are many ways to find statistics online, so we're going to suggest using the U.S. Census website, which is publicly available to anyone with the internet, Google, and the library's Social Explorer tool. Let's start with the United States Census website. As mandated in the U.S. Constitution, the U.S. Census gathers data every 10 years about citizens and those living in the country. There are many censuses that take place, including the decennial census every 10 years from 1790, the economic census every 5 years, and the census of governments. For our research, we can look at the decennial census data from 1960. There is lots more data collected now than there was in 1960, so you may find more by using the keyword search tool at the website. For census data, you can look for statistics by topic. For example, the census topic family and living arrangements includes subtopics like child well-being. You can view each publication by year and read the reports with data. You will want to think about the topics related to your monster and the year closest to the movie release date. Additionally, the U.S. Census has a decades overview. This provides an overview and tables of data from each decennial year since 1790. This overview is more in-depth than the website topics and reports. Again, depending on the year, the census survey may have the most basic data, like age, race, and sex in the 1960s, to more complicated topics like health impact and racial violence in the more recent years. Let's look at how to find data and statistics in Google. In terms of Google, you can use Boolean search strategies to find statistics from the government and other research. A quick break to discuss how we can search words using an online tool. Search boxes like OneSearch and even Google give the best results when we tell it exactly what we need. We use connecting words called Boolean operators to make our requests more clear. Boolean operators tell the tool what to do with our search terms. The operator AND tells the tool to put our terms together in one result. It works best for ideas you want to find together to get less options. The operator OR tells the tool that we don't know what the best word is yet, so give us results that include any of these words. It works best to get more options. We're going to use some operators in our time period search. In order to search for sources using time periods, you'll want to use a variety of strategies that indicate time. For example, for the time period of 1960 to 1970, when the Psycho film was released, we can use the search term in numbers like 1, 9, 6, and 0. We can also use the word 1960s or spell out the number in letters as a decade. Some time periods have special names, like the 2000s, which were also called the early aughts or aughts. If you want to learn other words for specific time periods, use Wikipedia to search for that time. In our case, we can use 1960s or 6Ts or 1960S or 60S for our time period. Again, using the operator OR tells the tool to give us results that use any of the words we input because we don't know what word is best. Okay, so now with basic Boolean, we can do some searching for statistics online. Remember to evaluate your sources for credibility. You should be able to clearly see where the data you find comes from. In Google, we can look for data sources in research studies using our time periods, 1960s, and the topics related to our monster in the movie Psycho. Mental illness and psychiatric disorder is part of this movie. We can search using our time period, 1960s or 60s or 1960s or 60s, and mental disorder or illness or psychiatry and statistic. There is a National Library of Medicine article called Healthcare in the Early 1960s. One interesting aspect is data about a rapid increase in aging citizens and the lack of insurance creating a need to care for the elderly at home. This is a major plot point of the movie Psycho. We can continue to evaluate some of the sources here for related topics to the movie Monster. Lastly, the library provides access to a tool called Social Explorer. We have a great guide to help us use this database at campusguides.glendale.edu/Social Explorer. Social Explorer gathers data from the census, FBI, Department of Education, and other government agencies. For example, we can view the U.S. decennial census for 1960 as a map. Under the year, 1960 county, state, and U.S., we can begin a report of the data collected. Our geographic area is the United States, which we can add to our selection. We can see what data was provided in the census as of 1960. Because this is an earlier census, it only has basic data about the geographic area like age and race. You can find more data in later censuses as the government asks more specific questions. Overall, remember to use keywords based on your topics to do a more strategic search. Look into Social Explorer's various tools to create reports of relevant data. If you need help, contact the GCC Library in person, by phone, or online via email and chat. You can also make a research appointment with us during library hours.